My mom cheated on my dad when I was still a kid and ditched our family to work in the adult entertainment industry. She recently retired from that profession and now wants to come back and be my mom again. Posted by you/throwawaycrazymom10. Posting here because my therapist said it would be nice to get it off my chest. Please pardon me for the wall of text. And no, I won't share any info or links, so if any creep even suggests it, you will get blocked. To give some context, my 27M dad, 67M, used to travel a lot for work and stay away for weeks, so he and my mother, 52F, had an agreement where they had an open marriage. I don't know the details, but she was the only one who slept with other people. This lasted through most of my childhood, as I can remember her leaving at night to go to clubs and parties, sometimes taking days to come back and neglecting me and my brother. I learned how to get groceries and cook when I was 8 so me and my brother wouldn't starve. When I was around 13, my parents started fighting since apparently she had broken the deal in some way. My dad found out about the neglect, and she started going into the adult industry. They separated, and for years I had no contact with my mother. I sent her texts and emails, some that even showed as seen, but she never replied. So one day, I just gave up trying to contact her. I managed to stay in contact with some people from her side of the family, but a lot of them began hating on us, saying that we were too harsh on her, that we never supported her, that she did well leaving us, and gradually, I also cut contact with them as well. She started working in the adult industry and got pretty famous in my country, made a lot of money, and I stopped using any adult websites as she was on the top pages of all of them. I gladly suffered little to no bullying in high school because of it, as there were no ways of connecting her to me, and most of my friends who knew my mother didn't know it was her. She had dyed her hair, done a few surgeries, and stuff. Well, I moved on with my life, joined the army, and I'm doing pretty well now. However, a year ago, out of nowhere, she found me on social media and began messaging me, asking how I was, commenting on how much I had grown up, and trying to make small talk. I just replied with one-word answers and eventually stopped replying once my nerves got the best of me. Apparently, she has retired and, after feeling an overwhelming remorse throughout her entire life, decided to contact us again. My brother was also careful but essentially accepted her back. He was always close to her. My father is cordial with her, but only that. She has also asked her entire side of the family for help, and I began being bombarded with messages and calls, from both those who criticized and supported me and my dad. I made it clear that I do not want anything to do with her, but they just keep insisting, saying that she is remorseful, that she made a mistake but wants to make it right, that she has come back for us, etc. More recently, she somehow found out where I live, and I've been receiving random gifts at my doorstep with messages that were clearly from her, things like a basket of chocolates that I liked when I was little, expensive clothes, she got my size wrong on all of them, flowers when my cat passed away, and even a very expensive hiking kit. I messaged her a few times to say that I don't want any of that, but she just pretends she doesn't know what I'm talking about or says she thought of me at that moment. I've made it clear time and time again that I don't want anything to do with her, but she still persists, saying things like she can be my mom again now and stuff like that. I don't know what else to say, so advice is more than welcome. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I'm sorry, Op. I'm sure it was difficult growing up without her and knowing what she was doing. She's probably remorseful now because she's growing older and doesn't have any meaningful relationships in her life. She has her extended family, but not one of her own. And that's 100% her fault. She can be as remorseful as she wants, but too bad, so sad. It wasn't your decision to lock yourself out of her life, it was hers. Similarly, it's now your decision whether you want to let her back into your life, not hers. The tables have turned. Some suggestions if you decide you don't want a relationship with her. She will continue to love bomb you to try to get you to respond. Moving forward, I would ignore any communication from her. Don't contact her when gifts arrive. Keep them, give them away, etc., just don't acknowledge them. And when she says she can be your mom again now, tell her that ship has sailed. You're no longer a child and do not need or want a mother who abandoned you. Be blunt and cold. After that, do not respond to any communication. Block her on all social media platforms and set your profile to private. Indicate to your brother that you want to be no contact with her. If she shows up to a gathering, you're free to leave. If she persists enough, take legal action to force her to stop. If she shows up at your house, feel free not to answer the door, you've made it clear you don't want to see her. I wish you the best, Op. Op's response. Thank you. As you said, she doesn't have any meaningful relationships, and with time passing, she is likely getting desperate to fix everything. I'm following a no-contact policy with her. I don't let her know when the gifts arrive or what I do with them. When the first gifts arrived, I actually had no idea they were from her until I saw the chocolate and a family member confirmed it by asking if I had received the gift. I'm really considering just doing what you said and calling her to say that I don't want any relationship with her. I'm not sure what is holding me back. I've set all my profiles to private, and my brother knows that I don't want any contact with her. He has stepped back a bit on telling me to talk to her, but not as much as I would like. Thank you so much, you gave me a lot of guidance. Update 11 days later. First, I would like to thank everyone who commented, giving me comfort, advice, or letting me unwind in their DMs. You all helped me a lot. I'm still trying to respond to all the comments and messages, but with work and family craziness reaching new heights, that might take some time. Just know that your words are very appreciated, and I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Well, to start the update, I decided to take the moral high ground and approach the situation more politely. I know many of you wanted me to just tell her off in a message or letter, but I thought this way would disarm many of her comebacks and maybe even make some of her family members back off. I called her and asked her to meet me in a small cafe. No way I was meeting her in private. She got there looking like she had won the lottery. She had a smile from ear to ear and was almost jumping up and down. But her smile faded when she saw my face. She sat down and tried to make small talk, but I cut her off and began to rain on her parade. With all the calm and patience I could gather, I told her that no matter what she did or said, there was no way for her to be my mom again. I explained that she was a complete stranger to me now, that I still had resentments, reminded her that I had tried many times to stay in contact with her but she refused, and even stated that I'm no longer a child, I'm almost 30, so I kind of don't need a mom anymore. I had to hold myself back from saying something like, a few years too late, huh? I hadn't even finished speaking when she burst into tears and began rambling about how sorry she was, sorry for not seeing me grow up, sorry for ignoring me, saying she would do anything for a second chance. She even told me that if her old work bothers me, she could have it all taken down and pay for therapy if I wanted. Apparently, she didn't know I've been in therapy since I was a teenager. I politely refused, and since the conversation wasn't likely to progress, I left after asking her once more not to contact me again. A couple of hours later, I was in the shower when my phone began exploding with calls and messages. She had apparently, once again, told her family, and once again, they were cursing me or trying to convince me. That showed me that some of the more radical comments on my last post were somewhat right, and I decided to follow some of their advice. I changed my phone number, also got a much better phone plan, cleaned my social media of any family members from her side, and told my lawyer to move forward with the restraining order. Thanks to the last post, I had it ready to go. Thanks again, everyone. She received the order a couple of days ago and immediately broke it by driving straight to my house to scream about why I was doing that. I didn't come out and call the cops. Thankfully, they saw the restraining order and took her to the station for questioning. I was afraid they would ignore it or something, but I'm glad I was wrong. I'm now stuck here, not sure if what I did was 100% right, but at least I've had some semblance of peace these last few days. She's still trying to send gifts, but I'm going legal on that too. I'm honestly not sure if there will be any more updates after this, but if there are, I'll post them on my profile due to this subreddit's rules. Once again, thank you, everyone. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. You did the right thing. How dare she decide to come back into your life when it suited her, and when it was too late. I don't feel sorry for her. She now has to deal with the consequences of the choices she has made, which is on her. The fact that you feel guilty is a sign you are a good person who feels remorse, especially as she forced your hand even further by coming to your house. But that doesn't mean you did the wrong thing. In fact, you have been very logical with your decisions. You should be proud of yourself for how you've dealt with things. Up. Second update 3 weeks later. So, I wasn't planning on posting any more updates, but a lot of people have been messaging me, and apparently, my post made it onto YouTube and blew up. Because of that, even more people are pinging me, so I guess I'll just write a quick one. My mother is now legally fighting me on the restraining order. I didn't even know that was a thing, and I'm trying to get more restraining orders for the crazier members of her family. My lawyer told me to be cautious because if I request 20+ orders for all of her family, I'll look like a madman and everything will be denied. She hasn't broken the restraining order again since the last time, but the gifts keep coming, and have even intensified, so I'm just donating all of them. Although my childhood was pretty bad, I can say that the amount of chocolate she sent me is making a lot of kids really happy now. And I'll say it again, I'm not revealing her name. Go find corn elsewhere and stop messaging me. It's not even for her sake, it's because I don't want to get doxxed. Anyone who sends messages like that will be blocked. To end this, I don't know if I'll post any more updates or how long they'll be, but if something happens, I'll definitely tell you guys. Once again, thanks to everyone who helped me. Side post 1 year 1 month later. Op made a post in r/Christianity that was titled, I'm losing my faith. Posting here because I have no one close to talk to about it without being heavily judged. Sorry for any errors, English is not my first language. Well, for the last 5 years, my life has been plummeting hard. I've lost friends and family that I held very dear, have been struggling with ever-increasing mayhem and infighting in my family, and have been trying to get my dream job all this time. It seems like for every minuscule good thing that happens, 1,000 bad things flood me soon after. I honestly can't remember one day that I could call a good day. I think my main question is, why? Why did all of this happen to me? I first tried believing that it was all in the Lord's plan, that maybe it was to harden me for whatever was to come, but I don't think I can believe that anymore. Every day, a new punch gets thrown at me, and no matter how long I wait or how many good things I do, the bell never rings. I used to always cherish helping others, it would always make me immensely happy to be of aid to someone, but even that no longer brings me any joy. I just feel like a punching bag, like the Lord has been doing it all on purpose. Honestly, I don't even know what to think anymore. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. From what country you are? And what this all happened? Op's response. I'm from Brazil. Second side post 6 months later. Op made a post in r/Christianity that was titled, I give up. I posted here about my situation a couple of months ago. First, I would like to thank you all for the kind words and motivation, they helped me a lot. Unfortunately, I can say with certainty now that I have completely lost my faith. As I posted previously, the last few years have been nothing but a constant struggle, having lost many people dear to me. For every small good thing that happened, I was pretty much hit by a truck soon after. Well, at the very end of last year, I thought that things were finally about to change. A very sick relative of mine was getting better, and a great job offer that could change my life appeared to me, not exactly my dream job, but very close, and I could make it work. I spent the last few months running after everything needed to make both those chances count, did all the payments for my relative's treatment, got all their papers in order, and did all the tests and exams for the new job. All with hiccups, but overall going well. And then it happened, my relative passed away, and 3 days later I got the news that I did not get the job. For some, this might seem like no reason to abandon their faith, but for me, going through hell these last few years, it was the final straw. I felt like a dying man in a desert, then somebody put a cold water bottle in front of me. I used the last of my strength to get to it, but right when it was just within reach, someone dumped it all on the sand in front of me. Sorry, but I'm done. My faith has completely dried up. If God is truly real, then for me, all of this shows that he is either a sadist or he just does not care. Thank you to all who placed their good-spirited messages on my last post. Peace. Third update 1 year 11 months later. Hey there, folks. Yeah, it's been a few years. Life has been a complete roller coaster, but with some people still sending DMs, I figured I should at least try to make some updates. Now, bear in mind it's been years, so my memory might be spotty and all over the place. I'll try my best to make it chronological, but it might turn into a mess. Right where I left off, well, my mom had been pushy to the limit, but at least with the restraining order, she was keeping away. There were some incidents, like when she showed up at my dad's house during a family dinner, only for my dad's new girlfriend at the time, now wife, to open the door. She also showed up at my job asking for me, Army, and one of my friends who was on guard duty scared her off with a shotgun. Love those guys, they're pretty much the only thing I miss about the Army. Well, life was not going that well. I kept being passed over for promotions, my requests for officer school were always denied, and to top it all off, my girlfriend at the time cheated and dumped me. So yeah, not nice. Years went by, and when I finally thought I would get an upstart in my promotion, I got dismissed by the Army along with a lot of other folks. Suddenly, with no job, I had to go back to living with my dad for some time while I tried to figure out what to do with my life. The restraining order against my mom also expired, so she came back with renewed vigor, which did not help the situation at all. There's a lot more, so I should tackle it some other time. For now, have a nice weekend, folks. Editor's note. Op's last post was made in January 2025, 7 months ago, and hasn't provided any new updates since.